Since Samadhi is part of Bhakti Yoga in a way, so I wanted to take today's lecture about what Patanjali mentions about Samadhi, the Yoga in the Yoga Sutras. Yeah. So the definition of Samadhi is basically oneness of subject and object. So till now, whenever the yogi was meditating till the stage of dhyan, the subject and object were different. But the meaning of samadhi is unification of subject and object. Yeah. So it can be understood also in another way that the consciousness of the yogi was first with the gross body, then with the subtle body, then with the causal body. And he was using the power of soul to introvert his consciousness throughout this journey. Yeah. And in the stage of samadhi, the consciousness goes with the soul. So that is why it is said that the subject and object become one, because till now you are focusing or using the energy of the soul to introvert your consciousness, but now that has united with the soul itself. From the lens of bhakti yoga, till the stage of dhyan, the person was meditating upon the form of God. But since the Atma is also Brahman, and once the consciousness is transferred to the soul or Atma, it is said that the practitioner has become one with God. So that is also one way of looking at it. Yeah. And this stage of Samadhi is further divided into two stages. One is Sabij Samadhi, second is Nirbij Samadhi. And there are two other names for Sabij Samadhi, Savikalp or Sampragyat Samadhi. Bij means seed. So Sabij means with the seeds of karma. And the primary difference between Sabij and Nirbij is basically that in Sabij Samadhi, the yogi cannot continuously stay in the state of Samadhi. He keeps falling to the lower planes of consciousness. But in Nirbij, he continuously stays in the state of Samadhi. So, Savikalpa means with option. So, it is called Savikalp because the yogi has the option to fall back to the lower consciousness. And the next stage is, I put it in chat, which is called as Nirbij. So, the other two names are Nirvikalp, which means the yogi does not have any option to fall back to lower consciousness. And Asampragyat is opposite of Sampragyat. And Nirbij Samadhi starts after all the seeds of karma are burnt. So which is why it is called Nirbij. Yeah. And the interesting part about Patanjali Yoga Sutra is that it is just like a 10-page book, and there are only one lines of verses written in that. But they are so deep and complicated that Vyas, there was another sage called Vyas who has written commentary to explain all of these things. And so the first verse of Patanjali's Yoga Sutra is, I'll just tell you the English meaning, is that now the discipline of yoga starts. It's just that much. So Ved Vyas in his commentary has written that Patanjali means samadhi when he says now. So Ved Vyas mentions in the commentary in the first verse that yoga samadhi, which means that only at the stage of samadhi can it be called as yoga. So many people are roaming in the world claiming to be a yogi, but that is not right to call them a yogi without reaching the stage of samadhi. And Guruji himself used to say that you can call me yogi after I reach the stage of samadhi. Till that I am just a sadhak or a practitioner. Yeah. So even when I would recommend that if you are reading about Patanjali Yoga Sutra, just always try to read it with the commentary of Vyas. Then only we will understand the true meaning of Yoga Sutra. Otherwise, it is very complicated and difficult to understand. So Guruji mentions that once he received his Gyanvati Diksha from Bapuji, then there was this another dimension of language which opened up within him. So because of that, he could understand the true meaning of all the Sanskrit verses which are mentioned in the scriptures. So, which is why even if we read Patanjali Yoga Sutra without any initiation from Guru, we may not be able to grasp the true meaning. So, which is why Ved Vyas has written a commentary that in simpler words to make us understand. So, to understand a bit more about this Gyanvati Diksha, I don't know if it is there in China, but in India, we have these puzzles where there is a sentence which is written and there is a key which is provided with that. So it is like one letter, although it may seem like A, B, C, D, but it may mean something else. So once you have that key, then you understand the true meaning of that puzzle. So kids solve that. So this is also similar like that. So once you receive the Gyanvati Diksha, it is like a key which makes you understand the deeper meaning of the verses and not just the surface level meaning.
Okay. It's like the coding, the
yes, encryption or coding.
Yes, yeah. Okay.
So in Bhagavad Gita also, in the end, so there are 18 chapters in Gita. In the last chapter, Krishna says to Arjun that what I have given you is the deepest secret of yoga and very mysterious. So do not share it with anyone who is not having the right to it. But still in India, you will find that in every home there is a Gita which is present. So does it mean that Arjun leaked that? But no, it's not like that. It is just that those mysteries can be understood once you have that key with you. Then only it can be understood. And the reason, I know I'm slightly digressing from the topic of Samadhi, but just want to clarify that the reason why this key is kept secret is because if it goes to a wrong person, then there might be some techniques with which they can acquire power. So in the past, it is written in the scripture that there were many demons who acquired power with this key, and they defeated all the devatas like Indra and everyone, and God had to take incarnation to destroy them. So to avoid that situation, it is kept secret so that it falls into the right person's hand. So coming back to Samadhi, Vyasji says that yoga is equal to Samadhi in the commentary of the first verse. And then Patanjali in the second verse mentions that yoga chitta vritti nirodha, which means yoga is cessation or stopping of chitta vrittis or modification of consciousness. So by inference of these two statements, we can say that since yoga is samadhi and yoga is stoppage of chitta vritti, which means that samadhi is also stoppage of chitta vritti. Yeah. And in the commentary of this second verse, Vyasji mentions the state of chit. So there are, I'll come to this later. There are 5 states of vrittis which are mentioned by Vyas in the second verse. Yeah, and I know we covered this in the course of Karma Yoga, but just to briefly tell you what is a vritti, what is a chit vritti. So if you remember the chart of microcosm, we saw that on the left there is from soul coming out chit, pran and pranvayu, and on the right there were elements of prakriti like buddhi, ahankar, man and all that. So whenever we perform a karma, it creates a vibration in the chit consciousness. So those are the modifications of chit consciousness, or in Sanskrit it is called as vritti. So whenever we perform any karma, it is done through the elements of prakriti on the right side. But there is this example I gave that there are 2 tuning forks. If you hit the left one, it vibrates, but also its vibration causes vibration in the right part, in the other part, although it is not directly connected. So similarly, the Atman and the aspects of Atman are not connected to matter or the elements of Prakriti. But by this vibration, whenever we perform karma, there are vibrations in the Chit consciousness, which are called as Vritti. So coming to the states of Chitta Vritti. So there are 5 states. First is Kshipt, which means disturbed. Second is Vikshipt, which means confused. Third is dull. Fourth is Ekagra, which means one pointed focus. And fifth is Nirodha, which means restrained. Yeah, and now coming back to Samadhi. So we studied in Gyan Yoga about Vitark Samapatti, Vichar Samapatti, and these four Samapatti. So these are preceding stages of Sampragyat or Sabij Samadhi, all of them. And these four, along with Sampragyat Samadhi, it is said that the Chit Vritti is in the Ekagra state, which means one pointed focus. So, just to revise a bit, in Vitark Samapatti, the yogi gets the knowledge of the gross elements or the five elements of earth, water, ether, air, and fire. In Vichar Samapatti, he focuses the vritti on subtle elements. So, subtle elements inside the body include manas, ahankar, gnanendriya, karmendriya, and all that, and tanmatras. And at the same time, he can do astral journey to the subtle realms of the universe to realize that whatever is outside is also within me. Yeah. The next is Anand Samapatti. So here the focus is on the causal elements within the body, and also the travel is done to the causal realms. Yeah. The next two stages are somewhat similar, not different. So in this Asmita Samapatti, he starts perceiving the light of the soul. And also, once that is perceived and the meditation deepens, the consciousness goes from the causal body to the soul itself. Then it is called as Sabij Samadhi. All this we already looked at, so I'll not cover it. Yeah, coming to Nirbit Samadhi. So, as I said, that the difference is that in Sabit Samadhi, the yogi comes back to lower planes of consciousness. It is called as Vyutthan. And in Nirbit Samadhi, there is no Vyutthan. Yeah, and in Sabit Samadhi, the stage is called as Atma Sakshatkar, which means Atma Sakshatkar, which means the consciousness goes with the Atma. But in Nirbit Samadhi, it is called as Brahma Sakshatkar, which means the consciousness from the soul goes with the God or with the Brahman Tattva. Brahma Sakshatkar happens in Nirbit Samadhi. Yeah. And so this is said by Sage Vyas in the commentary of Patanjali Yoga Sutra, that the perception of soul, perception of soul, as the seer. So the soul is perceived as God, Brahm, or Param Tattva. Yeah, and there are four great sentences in the Vedas which are mentioned. So these four sentences are realized by the yogi by direct experience. So first is Tattvamasi, which means you are that. So you are Brahman. So that is also realized by the yogi directly without any. So right now we are reading this, and by faith we are thinking that okay, we are Brahman. But in this state, the yogi directly realizes that it is a direct knowledge. Yeah. The second statement is Aham Brahmasami, which means I am Brahman. The third is Pragnanam Brahma, which means pure consciousness is Brahman. And fourth is I am Atma Brahma, which means my soul or the self is Brahman. Yeah, and in this stage, you see Brahman everywhere all the time. So there is this story of Prahlad. There is this person, small kid called Prahlad. He sees Vishnu everywhere, wherever he looks. So he is like in this stage. And we also saw Bapuji's bhajan last time. So he was also mentioning that how the two friends were talking, and one was saying to other that I am making a garland for God, but in the flower itself I see the God. Then whom should I offer the garland to? Yeah. So similarly, even Kabir has written a poem that wherever I see you. You are the thief, and you are the person from whom it is being stolen. So he is seeing God everywhere, even in the thief, even in the person who is being stolen, everywhere. Yeah. So I can go to someone's house and steal, and then I can claim that I am Brahman. It's not me. Brahman is making me do it. Yeah. Also about Patanjali Yoga Sutra, I wanted to share one more thing. So even Guruji has mentioned this in his lectures. So when Vyas says that Yoga Samadhi, the 8 steps of Ashtanga Yoga, right? They can be called as stages of yoga as well. But for a person who has reached Samadhi, these 8 are characteristics of Samadhi. I will explain how. So there are 3 interpretations. So I'll start with the yamas, which are 5 ethical things which one has to do, right? So first yam is ahimsa or non-violence. Now there are 3 interpretations of that. One is at our stage, like we all are still in the pravritti marg. We need to consciously practice non-violence. We need to tell ourselves that okay, not I'll not do violence. I'll not do violence. When the yogi is in the nivrutti marg, starting of nivrutti marg, it means that the quality of non-violence happens within him spontaneously. So he does not feel like doing violence. Yeah. And the third meaning is when someone is in samadhi, around him there is no non-violence. So it is, Guruji gave this example that even if a tiger and a deer come in front of him, they also become friends. Like in general, tiger would kill the deer, but the influence and power of a person in samadhi is so much that they would become non-violent. Yeah. Second is satya, which means truth. So for us, we need to consciously think that we will not lie and we will speak the truth. For a yogi who has started, it naturally occurs. And for the person in samadhi, whatever he says becomes the truth. So if he says that this object is of gold, then it will become of gold. Yeah. And then third is asteya, which means not stealing. So similarly, the first 2 meanings are like that, but in third meaning, for a person in samadhi, he can turn anything into gold and does not require any money. So he does not need to steal. He is that rich. So, and similarly, I mean, I can go on and on. So yeah, I was talking about the story. So there was this saint called Gorakshnath in India, and I think in Buddhist literature his name is Gorakpa, if I'm not wrong. So he was going with his guru somewhere, and so what had happened was that his guru, because of some reason, had involved himself back into family life. So he had developed a lot of you can say a lot of greed within him, and because of that greed, he took some gold with him, Gorakshnath's guru. So Gorakshnath wanted his guru to leave that greed of gold. So what he did was that both of them were traveling somewhere. He said, Guruji, I'll come back in some time. I'm going to urinate somewhere. I mean, I'm going to relieve myself. So he urinated on a rock, and that rock turned to be gold. That whole rock became of gold. So his guru, Gorakshnath's guru, he saw that and was awed by it. So he was just trying to prove his point that by the knowledge you have given me, Gurudev, I can do this. I can turn anything into gold. So why are you having greed for that small amount of gold when this is the power which can be achieved through yoga?
那么这个故事呢，就是关于就是牛户尊者的啊，梵文我讲不清楚了，但我记得好像是牛户尊者。那么这个牛户尊者呢，他有一个上师的。那么这个上师呢，就是在某一个时间节点呢，他其实是结婚了，好像是一个女王还是跟他结婚了。结婚了以后呢，就是说他过上了奢靡的生活，所以呢，他就是贪欲之心啊，越来越大。越来越大以后呢，就是说在牛户尊者劝他离开去过这个修行生活的时候呢，他因为之前的这个贪欲，他就带了一包金子就是出来了。那么这带了金子呢，就是说跟他们两个就是一起在这个行走嘛。那么牛户尊者呢，他是想要让他的这个师父啊，就上师啊，就是远离这些金子，远离这些贪欲之心的。所以呢，他就走到半路跟这个上师说了，他说我要去就是方便一下啊。那么然后他就去找了块石头，然后方便了一下，然后呢他方便的这块石头就变成了金子了，因为他的瑜伽之力。 变成了金子。那么他其实呢，就是想要通过这个告诉他这个师傅啊，就是说放弃这些世俗的这些就是物质的欲求。一旦你有了这个瑜伽之力，有了瑜伽的这样的一种神通之力以后啊，什么都是可以办到的。你何苦去抱着这个区区的一包金子，实在是有点太那个了啊！所以就是想通过这样的一件事情来点醒他的师傅。虽然他的师傅是他的师傅，但是这个时候的他的师傅正量是没有他高的，但是他还是要把他师傅拉回正道。Yes.
Yeah. So I can go on and on for all of them, but I am just trying to say that there are three meanings. Each of them has a third meaning, which is relevant as a characteristic of samadhi. So for asana pranayam also, I can briefly tell you, like the stages of asana pranayam are there, right? So for asana, the person in samadhi can hold that asana for infinite amount of time, thousands of years or infinite amount of time. Yeah. And for pranayam also, Patanjali mentions that there are four things in a pranayam. So I think it's Purak, which is inhalation, Kumbhak, which is retention, and Rechak, which is exhalation. But he mentions that there is a fourth stage called as Keval Kumbhak, which means only retention. So he mentions in the Yoga Sutra that the truest form of pranayam is Keval Kumbhak, which means only retention. So the stage of pranayam for a yogi who has started is different, and for the person who has reached the samadhi is this stage of Keval Kumbhak. Yeah. So similarly, I mean, for dharana, dhyan, samadhi also it has its own meaning. Like dharana means focusing the mind on one object for someone who has started yoga or who is a practitioner of yoga. But for the person in samadhi, he can control others' mind to focus on something. So that's the difference. Yeah. Then there are some other things which I want to cover, but like I hope it has not become too much. We can cover this next time also. So this is basically a table given by Gorakshnath where he explains that how many days of samadhi leads to which state and how is Nirbit Samadhi achieved. We can take it next time also. If